Welcome, William. All right, guys. Welcome to a special edition of the R&R Show. We are live here at Trajan Field in St. Leon for tonight's titanic clash between the Moeller Crusaders and the East Central Trojans. We are actually going to talk a little bit about...
You're about ready to get hit in the head with a football.
I see that. We're talking a little bit about our new sponsors to the show. We've got Willoughby Supply, which some of you probably have already seen some of our posts. They were kind enough to sponsor our show, and also the Big Stick of the Week, Brad Fisher and the fine folks at Willoughby Supply. And then also we just got D1 Performance added today, which is going to be we're going to be presenting the D1 Performance Athlete Performer of the Game.
Yep, D1 Performer of the Game.
Yep. So talk a little bit about our sponsors, William.
So Willoughby Supply, SRS Distribution operates in 42 states with over 290 locations, and added several new locations in 2020, including here in the tri-state area as Willoughby Supply. They have offices in Cincinnati, Dayton, Middletown. So if you need help finding a contractor or materials to do it yourself, or any of your roofing, siding, or remodeling projects, please give Brad Fisher a call at 812-290-3017 and tell him the R&R Show sent you.
Well, and I won't, Brad Fisher is an absolutely elite kind of guy. I mean, he will make sure that he takes care of you and gives you the attention that you deserve. So I definitely recommend anybody watching our show that needs any of those things that you just mentioned to reach out, because he'll take good care of you.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the D1 Performance.
Yeah, so D1 Performance, it's Danny Jefferson. He's the Director of Strength and Conditioning at D1 Performance Academy. So they provide athletes with sport-specific skills, athletic training, speed and agility, and personal training. So they let us take your game to the next level. Danny, you can be reached at 812-221-0005.
And I know Danny has actually, helped a lot of the tri-state players get to that next level. There'll be a few on the field tonight, and there's a ton of them in the South Dearborn and Lawrenceburg school system also. Like I said, any parents out there watching or any athletes that want to take their game to the next level, absolutely give Danny a call, because he will make that happen. So now jumping in a little bit about the game tonight. Like I said, we've got two titanic, basically heavyweight teams. East Central is obviously one of those upper echelon schools in southeastern Indiana, and Moeller's no different in the Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio area. What do you expect for tonight's game?
Yeah, I kept seeing Tradition Rich.
Yep.
Is the moniker that I
heard.
And
for both teams.
For both teams.
Yep.
So you, obviously, the GCL is kind of a historic conference. And what do you tell me? How many national championships does Moeller have?
Yeah, well, they have 8 state titles, but they had a run where with Jerry Faust, they ended up having like 6 mythical national championships, which mean they were ranked the best team in the country.
Okay.
So to have 6 times being named as the best team in the country is pretty impressive. They had a heck of a run in those late 70s, early 80s with Jerry Faust that ended up coaching Notre Dame. He springboarded that Moeller success to Notre Dame, which was pretty impressive.
So this game's getting a lot of pub. I mean, it's the the Skyline Chili Crosstown Showdown.
Absolutely.
So, and they've actually got a lot to live up to. Last week's do you see what happened in last week's?
No.
LaSalle and Elder.
Oh, I did see that, yeah.
It was a 53-52 game that was won on a 2-point conversion.
I don't expect to see that kind of scoring tonight.
I do not.
No. But you know what? And these Crosstown Shootouts, they're no stranger to East Central nor Moeller. They're typically going to get 1 or 2 of those a year. And this year's no different. The guys on each of these teams, play in big-time games. They play against upper echelon competition, and when you do that, you're going to be in these kind of games, and I think that's what the kids love.
Yeah, for sure. And then this is the 3rd time that these two teams have met.
Yep.
The last 2 times, Moeller has come out on top. I think their last Last game was in 2003.
Yep,
so
it's been a while.
It's been a while. 17 years since they played.
Yep.
But I expect a great game. I mean, both physical teams. You've got East Central coming off a tough loss against Chittard, who's a great team.
Yep, a very good
champion
team
from last year.
Yep.
And then you've got Moeller coming off they won 27-14 last week.
Yep.
They started off. It kind of reminded me their game against who was it?
Bishop Hartley.
Bishop Hartley reminded me of East Central's first game against Lawrenceburg. They
were
really sloppy at the beginning, but then they turned it on with their offense.
They had some early turnovers in that game, and then they ended up having a lightning delay. With 2020 being the way it is, they sprinkled that in on top of it. But they asserted themselves out of that lightning delay break and really, imposed their will on them, and ultimately got that victory. What do we think that we had mentioned pregame with some of the coaches in the back there. East Central's defense has been absolutely balling out, playing extremely good. What kind of problems do you think the Moeller offense will, basically present to the Trojan defense?
Yeah, so they have a dual threat, at least based on his statistics. I've not seen any highlights of the kid, TJ Rotello.
Yep.
But last week he rushed 14 times for 120 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then he also threw for almost 200 yards and a score. That's a solid game out the gate.
Yep.
So, but they had a dual threat QB against Lawrenceburg game 1, and they seemed to bottle him up pretty well.
Exactly.
So I expect but then they also have number 3. I think
the speed guy.
The speed guy.
Yeah.
I mean, Coach Miners in the paper said that he's probably the fastest kid he's seen since Devier Posey.
Yep.
So,
and
we saw a little bit of tape in the locker room with
Coach Kirchgassner. He was showing us, and I will tell the viewers at home that he has absolutely got world-class elite speed. But again, I mean, this is no different from anybody that the Trojans haven't played in the past.
Yeah.
You just got to game plan well, get some pressure on that quarterback. It's going to be up to the guys up front to put the pressure so the quarterback can't just lay it in there.
Right, and I expect East Central to be a sharper group. I mean, this will be their 3rd game.
Yeah.
They had a tough matchup week 1, came out on top week 2, obviously. So I think week 3 coming back home, I think they're going to tighten it up, and I think they're going to put a show on for Moeller.
I will tell you this. I expect a totally different Trojan team, although nothing's going to change about them pounding the rock. That's nothing changed. But now when you enter a bruiser back like Fike leaning on you, now it's going to depend on how many carries he gets. But he is an absolute bruiser, and I get a feeling if Coach Miners, if we're in a tight game, he's going to keep feeding him. He may want to think he's going to limit his touches, but if he smells blood, he definitely will keep on leaning on the big guy. But the guys up front, they definitely going to have to control the line of scrimmage, because I suspect, there's been some blueprints out there early about stacking the box against the Trojans, and we're going to have to hit a big play or two down the field to loosen up that defense, so we can get another extra 1, 2, 3 yards inside when we do run. So that's going to be key to be able to hit maybe 2 or 3 of those big plays, 15, 20, 25 yards. To loosen up that defense to basically respect the pass a little bit.
Yeah, now they haven't done that with the past couple of weeks with Bond in the lineup. And now in this game with Messmore out, Bond's going to have to step up.
Well, I'm telling you right now, every game, the season, your year to date can flip on the switch, and I'm expecting Bond to acquit himself quite well tonight. I think the guys up front are going to protect him, and I expect a couple big plays out of Bond. I just talked to the coaches how I did like, the screen passes with Soames. I hope to see some more of that. I'd like to see maybe both of them in the backfield at one time, maybe give it a different wrinkle. But I'm expecting a very tight, hard-nosed game. The papers did not give us a line per se. This was the one game they didn't. If I was to suspect, For a line today, I would say it's probably Moeller plus or -7. I think the Crusaders are probably favored by 7, even with the Trojans being on the home field.
Yeah.
But we'll get in our predictions here in a second. But
sounds good. And I think another kind of factor is the weather. I mean, right now it's almost 7 o'clock, and it's starting to get a little chill off it. It's not going to be super hot, super muggy. So I think that will create a sharper game as well.
Yeah, and Moeller's no different than the Trojans. They don't play people both ways. And I think that's a part of what got Moeller that victory last week was Bishop Hartley did play a few guys both ways. And I think it started to wear them down a little bit towards the end, and they did impose their will. But I don't expect any kind of that tonight. Like I said, I expect a fun game. I'm excited to see some of the wrinkles that the coaches have in store offensively and defensively. And as I'm talking here, as we're talking, we got the looks like the big uglies getting ready to walk out, the linemen. They do look big.
I'll ask you, as a former Trojan in the 90s, Trojan standout, what would a win over a team like Moeller and their history do for a program that is traditionally rich?
You know what? East Central, we expect to win big games, and through the years, everybody that puts on the Trojan uniform expects always to win the big games. But this one in particular, I think, would be special because of the Ohio football seems to not respect the Indiana football as much, and to pick off a perennial power like the Crusaders, it would be special. They may not say it's just another game, but it would be special. I couldn't imagine that not a coach over there on Trojan side doesn't really
Coach
want
Miner
this
said he made him aware this week.
Yeah,
I found that interesting in the interview. He's like, we made him aware about Moeller.
Yep. And some of the kids are kids. Some of them might not study the past, and that's good that coach is bringing that to the forefront.
Yeah.
Because a win against the Crusaders definitely would be special.
Good deal.
So,
are we doing our predictions?
Well, let's go ahead and do our prediction. We're getting close to it. So, we'll go with you first, William. How do you see this game unfolding?
I think that the Trojans are going to win 21-17.
Oh, wow.
I think they're just going to be sharper. They're at home, coming off a tough game against Chitar, but I think that, probably built some resiliency in them. I see 21-17 Trojans.
I will say this. I think coming off of that Chittard loss, I think they understood how good their team is. A couple plays either way, they win that game. I think the addition of Jake Fike will be the difference tonight. I think they will play a ball control offense. They will end up wearing them down. It'll be a hard-hitting game. There is going to be some definite sticks in this game. A lot of action for Willoughby to pick from for the stick of the week. But in the end, I do think the Trojans eke this out, 17-14. I think the defense again plays lights out and keeps the Moeller team to 14.
So East Central covers. Put your money on East Central.
There we go. Get your bets in before the game. We'll see you guys at halftime. Talk a little bit about the game. Thank you.